everyone. Thank you for joining us in today's session for Workshop at Bursa 2022 online webinar series in collaboration with Bursa Malaysia Berhad. My name is Claire and I'm from the marketing team at Affin Hwang Investment Bank. To kick things off, allow me to welcome Affin Hwang Investment Bank, Head of Equity Sales, Ms. Angeline Lai, to give a few words. Over to you, Angeline.
Thank you, Claire. A very good evening to all. I hope you are doing well and staying safe. On behalf of Affin Hwang Investment Bank, I'm pleased to welcome you to this webinar in conjunction with the International Women's Day, in collaboration with Bursa Malaysia Berhad. Thank you for taking your time to join us today. Ladies and gentlemen, this webinar series is in line with the Bursa Malaysia commitment towards advocating investment awareness and literacy among women in the marketplace and the wider community. Since the start of the pandemic, we have seen significant increase in the retail participation in Bursa Malaysia with a low of 20% of the entire market, surging up to 27% to date. We trust that our webinar series will help investors like you to be more informed and make better investment decisions. This evening, we have Ms. Ivy and Ms. Ying, founder of Financial Fitness YouTube channel, to share their experience in stock investing. They will be covering their journey from when they first started investing until they decided to start the Financial Fitness YouTube channel in March 2020. The channel was created with the intention to educate Malaysians on financial literacy. These beautiful and capable ladies are not only considered as social media influencers, they are also licensed insurance advisor and unit trust agent with Prudential Malaysia and Eastspring Investment Berhad. We are excited to have this webinar in the month of International Women's Day, where we celebrate political, social, cultural, and economic achievements of women around the world. It is good to see that women are being recognized, appreciated for their hard work, dedications, and more developments are made as we speak. We hope by having this webinar, it will encourage and inspire all of you to kickstart your stock investment journey with us. To the attendees who are not yet our customer of Affin Hwang Investment Bank, you are always welcome to open a trading account with us. I would like to invite you to our trading website, einvest.affinhwang.com, to sign up and start your trading journey with us. To the existing customer of Affin Hwang Investment Bank, it has always been our pleasure to serve you better, including with this webinar series. And we value the trust and faith that you have placed in us to help you navigate through your investment journey to achieve your financial goal. Before I close, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Ms. Ivy and Ms. Ying, founders of Financial Fitness YouTube channel, for their efforts of making this webinar a fruitful and beneficial sessions for all. Thank you, and I wish everyone a pleasant and productive webinar. Back to you, Claire.
Thank you, Angeline, for the opening remarks. Now, just a little housekeeping before we get started. We will have the Q&A session after the first presentation. If you would like to ask any questions, please type your questions into the chat box at the bottom right of this window. I repeat, if you would like to ask any questions, please type the question into the chat box at the bottom right corner of this window. Without much further ado, please welcome Ms. Ivy and Ms. Ying, founders of the Financial Fitness YouTube channel, who will share with us their stock investment journey and experiences, as well as insightful tips to navigate your investment journey. Please welcome Ms. Ivy and Ms. Ying.
Thank you very much, Claire, for that introduction. Hi, everyone. So I'm Ivy, and this is Ying, my co-founder. So before we begin, we just want to introduce ourselves and who we are, those who do not know us. Let me just start the slides, okay? Okay, so a little, give me a second. Okay, a little disclaimer. So we are, I don't know if, are we seeing the same slide? I think the clicker, all right, okay, so the disclaimer page, okay, so so just a little bit of disclaimer. Today will be a sharing session. It will solely based on our opinion and experience. If you are looking for investment advice, we highly encourage that you look for a licensed investment specialist. But we still want to share our experience. So anything you like to learn from here, you can learn, and then any questions you have, you can ask us later. So we are founders and of a channel called the Financial Fitness Channel. And when we founded this channel, a little bit more about us first. We are actually licensed insurance representative and also licensed unit trust agents from since 2013. Okay, me and Ying itself, we have been serving more than 300 to 400 clients with their financial planning and also their financial product solutions. So, but when we started this YouTube channel, we realized that there is actually a large market in Malaysia who has yet to understand fully how the financial world works. For example, like the simplest things like fixed deposits or saving account or checkbook, how all this works, they do not know. So when we started our page, it was during COVID on March 2020. And the moment we started our channel, it boomed from 300 subscribers to 7,000 subscribers within the 2 years. And the things that we cover are very simple things like how to save money, how does income tax works, how do you calculate your tax relief. And a lot of our subscribers and viewers have been giving us really, really great feedback, saying that we help them simplify things, help them make the financial world so much easier to understand. And so that is our goal, the goal of our channel, and is to help the complicated financial world, make it easier for Malaysians to understand so that you can achieve financial freedom with ease. Okay, at this moment, we are also having another goal where we want to provide honest feedback for all kinds of financial products and solutions. For example, like cryptocurrency and also all the digital currencies is now booming at the moment. We want this channel to be a platform where people can really get an honest opinion of whether is this a legitimate thing or whether they should jump in or not. So we want to, that's why we currently do not accept any sponsors. Even for today's show, we are doing this on a voluntary basis because we really, really want to help more Malaysians out there to expose themselves into the financial world without being afraid of, taking risks or anything like that. Okay. So if you are keen on seeing our channel and what is it all about, you can go to our channel at thefinancialfitness.com, or you can or you can just scan this QR code where we have a link into the channel itself already. We also post on our Instagram platform on a weekly basis. More and more people have been following us on Instagram, asking us questions. If you have very personal questions on finances, you can also DM us on Instagram. We have been receiving like tons of messages on Instagram asking about there's no stupid questions, even the simplest things like how I claim tax, all these things, they also will tax us. Also, I highly encourage everybody who who is not used to, wants to understand what is the financial world about, you can follow us on all these platforms. So today we'll be sharing our journey in our investment journey. Okay, if we were to start investing in 2020, how are we going to start again? What we would not do again, our mistakes and such. So for this, we will first, I start first, right? Oh yeah, I start first. Okay, so we will share a little bit more about how we start, why we start, and when we start investing in stock. Okay, let me just start with my experience first. So for me, myself, okay, started investing in, I started investing in, I think a year after I graduate, which is 2013. I graduated in 2013, okay, and then immediately about a few months later, I already started investing in stocks, buying shares. So why shares? I always had an interest in investing because I know that if I wanted to be financially stronger, investment is something that I have to gradually have to encounter lah, make myself, expose myself to investments. And my first choice is stocks because I know that as a fresh graduate, stocks would be the most affordable form of investment that I can opt for. So when I was in university, I already made up my mind to open a share trading account. Once I save up some money, which I did, I immediately went to open a share trading account. Back then, I think I had around 10,000. I made up my mind to save about 10,000 in my saving account. Then the next thing I knew, I went to open a CDS account with Maybank. Okay, the procedures was so much easier than I expected. It is as simple as opening a saving account. When I first started investing, I didn't think much about the profit that I will make lah. Of course, I will be happy if I could make my investment grow. But since I know that I am a beginner, my focus is always mainly to learn. And I encourage everybody to keep that mindset. I realize that many people tend to think that you need a big capital to start investing, but actually, if you have even as little as 1,000 in your account, you can already do a lot with it. And most of the stocks on Bursa are quite affordable, but you can spend as little as 100 ringgit on a stock, which when I share this to some of my friends and also my customers, they are very mind blown. It's like, oh, 100 ringgit can buy. Yeah, 100 ringgit, you can already start investing. So during my first year of investing, I did a lot of experimenting. Whenever my stock faces a loss or a gain, I will try to understand why and what caused the stock to react that way. Gradually, it made my investing choices much wiser. And now I can confidently say I'm no longer a blind investor lah. So from this, I hope that everybody learn that the most important thing here is you must start with the mindset of learning. Of course, if we can earn more, that would be best. Okay. So next I pass to Ying.
Yeah. Hi. Okay. So just a moment. Okay. Okay. So how I started. So actually I started investing after I graduated from university as well. And that time, many of my friends, my college mates, my classmates, they've already started investing already, even when they were studying. Because I'm from I did finance degree. So during our studies, we study a lot about investment, how we can invest to make our money grow further, to make our money work harder for us instead of working so hard ourselves. So a lot of my friends, they've already like heavily invested even during their uni days. But I am a very careful person. I'm not so big on risk, honestly. But I understand that if I want my money to work harder, I want to grow my money, I want to grow my wealth, investment is one of the ways, like what Ivy said as well. So I didn't start during when I'm studying, but I listened to a lot of stories. Like I would like hear how my friends invested, why they lose money, and from there I kind of like get some tips from them. Like I know, oh, okay, this is actually not a very good way to do it, or like what kind of investments are like a bit of a booby trap or things like that. So I learned from there as well, but I still took my time, and I only started looking into shares after I came back from Australia where I graduated. Because and I started with shares is because it requires the least capital. So like what Ivy shared just now, you only need 100 ringgit and you can actually start investing into a share already, and you will know what you're investing, like a specific company. So instead of investing in things like you are unsure of, you know that company, okay, I know I'm putting my money into that company, I'm investing into that company, and I know what does the company do. I can read up about the company's finances, the portfolio, and so on. So I started with that because I think that that is the hype also like during that time. But because I was a newbie as well, so I was really scared. I opened my CDS account, but I didn't make an investment until I think 6 months later. So every day I would stare at my CDS account and I would look at it. Should I make my first investment today? Should I wait a little bit later? So I was very nervous as well because I believe like for all newbies out there, you guys would face something similar like I did. Maybe because like I said, I'm not a risk taker. I would say I'm quite a conservative person as well. So I really took my time and I really read and I learn. I watch YouTube. I do my research and things like that. So to know that I'm not making a gamble here. So 6 months later, after I opened my CDS account, only I really started investing into my first share, and that's where I started lah. And I bought shares that I like, or like companies that I know. So I started with companies like consumer product companies. So the companies that produces things that I use regularly. So I will take notice of the things that I use regularly, like for example, the rice that I'm eating, or like the food that I usually consume, or the stores that I usually go to. So I look into that because I feel that hey, I like this product and I think maybe this company has a growth. So why not have a look at it and see how the company performance is and so on. So that's where I started. Like maybe for you guys can start off with like even the company you are working with. Like if it's a listed company, have you ever considered even looking into your company's portfolio and things like that, and maybe even consider investing? So just okay, next slide. Okay, so yeah, so I started like F&B, retailers, household goods, travel and leisure, hospitality, personal goods, agriculture. So I really look into mostly on consumer products because I was a newbie. I mean, I have not worked before. I mean, in a corporate world, I don't know much. So I started with things that I know first, or things that I like. And if you were to go to the e-events trading platform, you will actually be able to filter your shares. You can actually filter them by sector or by industry. So like for me, I can actually filter them through the consumer products sector, and I can actually see what are the companies, or if I want, I can look into financial, and I can look at what are the drop lists of companies that I can invest in, and I will see, hey, okay, I know this company. Let's look at its portfolio, and how is it? And so that's basically how I started. And I will not lie, I definitely have made tons of mistakes before as well, because like I say, I was a rookie, right? I was a newbie, and I'm not a pro. Even now, I would say I'm not a pro, but I would say I learned from my mistakes lah. Like Ivy said, every gain or loss you make, you try to understand why the stock react that way. So that's what I did as well. And before I go into the mistakes, I would actually want to share something that like a rule that I set for myself that I think is really good, where before I invest. So as I mentioned, I studied finance. I took finance for my degree. So my lecturer would share stories on how investment going wrong, like how people would lose a lot of money investing. And one of the reasons why a lot of people they are in heavily in debt because of investment is because they invest in money that they don't have, and or basically they invest in money that they are actually desperately in need of. So that's why I actually set a rule for myself to only invest with the money that I don't need. It's an extra money that I can use for like shopping or something extra. Okay. So for example, if let's say today you have only 10,000 in your bank account, and that is your emergency fund, that's your entire savings, that's your, your whole, what's that called? Your whole santa, your all your life savings is all there. It's 10,000, and you just invest that 10,000 into the share market. You're actually exposing yourself into a lot of risk. So, and if let's say there are some people who are very desperate for quick and fast money, and they think that investing in shares is the way to do it, they will start, loaning money to top up, and also invest in they will engage in like loaning money from their friends. Even worse, if let's say you start taking up mini loans like personal loans and so on, to actually top up into investing into shares, which is something that is very risky. And I actually told myself that I would definitely not want to be in that position. I don't want myself to be in that position. So this is like a ironclad rule that I set for myself before actually investing into shares, that I will only invest with the money that I don't need. It's like the extra money that I have. And when you are so desperate, hoping for a fast gain, right, there's actually a very high chance that you will experience a loss because you're very desperate. And when you're so desperate, you tend to make the wrong decision, like because you get very nervous, or maybe you get very desperate. You kind of lose your judgment. So this is something that I don't want lah. So it's my tip, I would say. And I would also aim for the long run, not going for like just for fast gain, just like that. So I always aim for the long run as well. And just like I believe you guys know this person, Warren Buffett. So he did say this before: if you're not thinking of owning a stock for 10 years, then you shouldn't even hold it for 10 minutes, which I think is very, very true. So try not to think of investment as something that is like a quick money scheme. I think that is not the right mindset to start lah. And I think setting rules for yourself before you actually start investing is very important. At least you know what are your ground rules, and you try to stick to it. And of course, because I'm a newbie as well, so I did not stick to one of the rules that I set for myself, which is to aim for the long run. And because if you want to aim for the long run for your investment, you must actually understand whether the company has a potential growth, or whether you believe in that company's business. So what happened was I was getting busy with my work, and I started slacking on doing my research. And I heard an insider tip from one of my friends where she told me that, hey, Ying, this is a very, very good buy. It's a very good share. Confirm will gain what? confirm you earn money one. Don't worry, you should really go into it. You should buy. Then because you get busy with your work, and sometimes your friends can sound so convincing, and you'll be like, okay lah, let's just invest. Don't have to think so much. So I really just blindly invest. And what happened was the share just plummeted just like that, just went down. And then I was like, hey, what happened? So I immediately read up about the company, and I realized, oh my God, it's a mistake. So I quickly pulled out as soon as possible. And thankfully, I didn't invest that much because, like I said, I'm quite conservative, right? Even though I listened to my friend, but still I was the conservative side of me is still there. So I didn't actually invested that much. So I didn't lost that much as well. So and the funny thing is actually my friend didn't even invest in that share. So you see, sticking to your rules is actually really important, and doing your research is really important because you don't want to lose without knowing why, what happened. It's like suddenly you just lost like that and you don't even know why. And the next mistake would be falling blindly in love in the company. So this is another mistake that I've learned, whereby try not to be biased towards the products that you like, that is being produced by the company. Because as I said, I buy shares that I like. Like I buy, the products that I like, I will look into the company that I'll buy. So sometimes, you love this product so much, and you think that, okay, this company, they come up with this, sure can one, their business sure okay one. But you look at their financial portfolio and see, wow, actually it's not very good. Will you still invest? So if they are really, if let's say it's really showing you signals in your research and you still blindly invest, it is actually that is a hint, right? So that's one of the mistakes that I've made as well. So I think, Ivy, you must have some that you can share, not only just me making mistakes, right? I'll pass it to Ivy.
Yes, yes. So comparing to Ying, I'm not a conservative investor. I'm actually an aggressive investor. I like to take risks. And that is one of my biggest downfall as well. After I investing for a couple of years, I began to realize that I'm actually quite a risk taker. And my biggest weakness is when it comes to investing is because I'm quite greedy. I can become quite greedy. So even though I already know that it can be very dangerous to over invest, but sometimes I just couldn't help myself. And that is how it become my downfall, especially when I see the share is rising, right? I keep on telling myself, oh, share increase 10%. Wow, should I buy more? I put in more money and stuff like that. So I used to set like 5,000 ringgit, which is the maximum amount that I'm willing to spend on one share. That is my rule, okay? But because of my greediness, I could easily spend over my limit, and that turned out quite ugly for me. So I highly recommend everyone out there to stick with what you set, because nothing is certain when it comes to investing. I learned it the hard way. There was this one time, of course, my limit increases over the years, but there is this one time I earned like about 40,000, but I also lost, I also lost like easily 50,000. So yeah, there's gain and there is losses. You have to really control your limit, stick with your rules, just like what Ying says. Because 1 minute it could be going up, another minute it could just crash down all the way, and you wouldn't want to give yourself a heart attack because of that. I've seen my friends, I've seen customers, and I've seen people who is exactly like me, and they just feel very depressed that they lost all that money. So nowadays I make sure that I control my risks by following the limit I set. For example, if let's say I like a certain share, I decided to only invest 1,000 in it. Once I hit my limit, I will not put any more money into that particular share. I will always monitor the share performance, and I tell myself what are the percentage of gain and loss that I'm willing to take. For example, if let's say the share gain 20% and the targeted profit and that is the targeted profit that I'm aiming, I would just sell it to cash out my profit and I won't look back. I used to hear people say, wow, why you so quickly sell? Or it could go higher. No, that is not my rule. My rule is I earn 20%, I sell, I don't look back anymore. So if the share drop 30%, I either will top up to average my costs or I will sell off to cut my loss. That is the rule that I stick. Okay. So that's really one of the great things I like about investing, because you can control your risk quite easily, either with the amount that you're willing to spend or the loss that you are willing to take. I used to tell my friends, those who are new in the investing game, buying investment or buying shares is like buying beauty products. Okay, when you buy a skincare product, you don't know whether that will work for you or not. It's like you're investing, right? Okay, after you try already, only then you know whether it's a gain or a loss. So you must always be willing to spend that money. If you buy that beauty product, if it doesn't work for you, you still lost, but you won't have any regret because you already know that you're willing to spend that money to try out this product. So shares is like almost the same thing. Okay, when you put that money in, you must know how much you're willing to put in, and then after that, if let's say it really loses with zero value left, then is that the amount that you're willing to lose? So that is my advice for everyone out there. If you're a new, you're new to the investment game, try to stick with all these rules. And I think that is the end of our sharing. Again, if you got any questions, feel free to put in whatever social media you're watching this video from. And I pass back to Claire.
Thank you so much, Miss Ivy and Miss Ying, for the great sharing on your investment journey from when you initially started investing until deciding to start your very own The Financial Fitness YouTube channel in March 2020. We'll now start with the Q&A session. As I've mentioned earlier, if you would like to ask any questions, please type in your questions into the chat box at the bottom right corner of this window. Sorry. We have already received a few questions. So the first question, here it goes. How long do you usually keep your shares? Maybe Ivy or Ying, any one of you ladies can take up this question.
For me, myself, okay. It depends on what kind of share is that particular share is. So if whenever I invest in a share, I don't just look at the share. I don't just look at the possibility of gaining, but I also look at the potential growth of that company. For example, like blue chip company like Maybank, or even some of the glove company, okay, which I know some of you who knows, like the ones that are in hype right now. If you really study their company, their culture, their strategy, you know that in the long run, this is a good company to invest in. They have a good potential growth for it. So I will hold this for a long term. I used to buy short-term shares, like I buy and sell within the day. It's possible also, but nowadays I tend to keep my share for at least 2 years or 3 years. Then once I hit, like I said again, once I hit my limit, okay, I saw that it hit 20%, then I would sell off, and then after that, move on to another share. Hope that helps.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah, another question that we received is when would someone know it's a good time to buy? Like, is there any indicators that you ladies follow?
Well, actually, how I wish I know when is the best time to buy, but the thing is, prices will go up and down, and actually it's really difficult to time the market. But what I can say is I can share a little bit a little experience of mine where there's this share that I wanted to buy, but I was a bit uncertain with the price because I think it's a bit high. So I was thinking maybe it will drop. Then the next day it increased. The following day it increased again. And then 1 week later, 1 month later, it kept on increasing. So end up I waited for nothing. I could have just invested the day that I decided, but instead I waited because I wanted to try to time the market. So I would say it's actually really difficult to know when is a good time to buy. But like I mentioned before, it's all about aiming for the long run and also about the potential growth of the company. And there is another thing is also called average costing in investing. So I do believe in that as well, that since we are holding for a long run, you can actually look into average average cost your investments. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Ying. Yeah, I think basically it's more like what you're trying to say. It's not just, the time, it's not the time that it's not timing the market, it's more like the time that you have in the market, I think, right? Because you always keep saying going for the long run, right?
Yes,
So,
exactly.
okay, cool. Yeah, a little bit of tongue twister there, but yeah, okay. All right. I think just now, Ivy did mention that she was a little bit more of a risk taker, and you also mentioned that you did have certain rules that you put in place so that you ensure that you know when to decide to cut loss or basically decide to take capital gains and whatnot. But how do you then, what my question would be like, basically, how do you have that? You don't have any emotional attachment to that particular share or stock that you actually hold?
Emotional attachment to that particular share.
Yeah, you know how some people, right, there is basically like this curve where you will follow, and then you reach a point where you're hoping, you see it optimistically rising the price, and then after you are at that point where you're reaching to a grid, and then it's hard to let go, and then suddenly it start to plummet, things like that, the whole emotional roller coaster of an investor basically.
Yes. My God.
Yeah, so it's always to tell yourself, okay, I need to do this now. I think that's the hard part for most people, right? I think it's always to decide when is the time to have that detachment. Yeah.
So this happened to me with a particular share where I earn about 100%, double the growth actually. Yeah. And even then I wasn't willing to let go of the share.
Yeah, you're still so optimistic, right?
You're so optimistic.
Yeah.
And that's when COVID hits.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
when COVID hits, and it plummeted all the way.
Wow. Okay. So what decision do you make that time? Yeah.
Yeah, when that happened, I seriously panicked lah.
Okay.
I was like, why the hell didn't I sell when it was double the growth?
Yeah, the what if comes in, right?
Yeah. But thank goodness. That's why I keep on telling my friends, you cannot be too greedy. You have to be content with once you earn, you win already. Yeah, this is what I tell my all my peers. Once you earn, you win. Don't care whether it's little earning or big earning. You must first get that. You must first cash out. You cash out, then you win.
Yeah.
You cannot hold on too long. If let's say that is their they are the short-term seller lah. But after that, thank goodness, after MCO, the share market keep on rising. Then it went back up again. So I was fortunate that I tell myself I hold, because I really, really think that company got potential. It's not a company that can be easily defeated by MCO. It's
Okay.
a company. Yeah. So again, when this kind of situation happened to you, you see that your share price suddenly drop a lot. You must make a decision whether you want to cut loss or you want to hold. If you hold, what is the reason why you hold.
Yeah, understanding the reason behind it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good advice. Good advice that you said that, as long as you make a gain, regardless big or small, I think that's a very good that's a good experience that you're sharing here. Yeah, that's
But for
awesome.
me, I hold until I earn. I don't care how long that takes.
Okay, so you really go for the long run. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I hold until I earn. I don't care. I see loss, I still hold until I earn.
Wow, awesome lah. Very strong, very strong. Okay. Yeah, I think that sort of brings to the end of our session in terms of the questions that we have for you ladies today. So thank you so much, Miss Ivy and Miss Ying, for your segment today. We greatly appreciate it. Before we end today's session, allow me to just welcome Miss Jun Yao, the Vice President of Equity Sales, for a short presentation of our product and service offerings. Over to you, Jun.
Thank you, Claire. All right, if I may just have my slides up. All right, before I begin, a very quick disclaimer that the information provided herein is for general purpose, general information, and public knowledge. All right, so without further ado, allow me to do a short introduction on myself. My name is June, and I'm a dealer with Affin Hwang Investment Bank. Thank you, everyone, for spending your next 10 minutes with me to allow me to showcase to you our products and services that we have to offer here in Affin. Okay, to begin with, we'll start with the local share trading, and I'll take you through the entire product suite that we have to offer. So for local shares, we have, I think, 3 types of account. I'll start with the first one, which we call the cash management account, short for CMA. So this account actually assigns you a dedicated dealer, and there's no leveraging on this type of accounts. That means every 100 ringgit you put in, you can trade up to 99% of the collateral. 1% will be earmarked for brokerage and other charges. The contracts will be auto settled, and this account type allows you to trade in our foreign market. And the brokerage starts from as low as 0.2%, minimum 12 ringgit, which is negotiable. Then our second type of accounts is what we call the securitized trading account, short for STA. This type of account is more suitable for individuals who wanted to leverage on their collateral. Same thing, you will be assigned a dedicated dealer. You can trade up to 2.5 times of your collateral, be it cash or shares pledged to us. And we do pay interest on your trust account balance or cash balance if the balance is more than 5,000. And the settlement is up to T+2. This type of accounts, you are eligible to pay contra. You are also eligible to our foreign market exchange. And the brokerage starts from as low as 0.42, minimum 28, which is also negotiable. And I'm very proud to announce that we launched our eInvest Go back in July 2021. So this type of accounts is more for individuals who want a no frills and a very simplified platform to meet their investment objective. This is strictly a DIY kind of account whereby there will not be a dedicated dealer assigned to you. All onboarding in terms of opening of CDS account and trading account will be done online and by yourself. And this account is only applicable for cash up front. And you will not be eligible for foreign market. The contracts will be auto settled, hence are not eligible for contra. The good thing is the brokerage starts from as low as 0.05, minimum 5 ringgit. The next slide is more for our investors who would like to invest guided by the Sharia principle. This is what we call our Islamic cash management account, whereby we have set certain controls. So if a client accidentally bought into a counter that is non-Sharia compliant, the system will reject the order. Henceforth, this will give the investors peace of mind to trade at ease. All right, next to our foreign shares, we also have access to foreign shares market. So you can basically trade with over more than 20 major markets across the globe. All right. So the other products that we have to offer, I'll go one by one and I'll just highlight to you the key features. We have this product called Share Borrowing and Lending. So this is basically if you have, say, the shares that fulfills our criteria and it is sitting in your CDS not doing anything, you can actually opt to lend the shares to us if there is a demand in return for a lending fee. So the key features are you get to retain all entitlements. So if the share does declare, say, a dividend, the dividend will be rightfully given back to you. And the lending fees, which has been predetermined, will be accrued on a daily basis and paid on a monthly basis. There are no restrictions and you are free to sell your shares, provided you must give us notice to recall the shares back. The securities listed are those approved by Bursa. There will be a 10 ringgit CDS transfer fee if the lending does take place, and there is no commitment as the participation can be discontinued by you at any point of time. The next product we have is what we call the share margin. Key features, you can leverage up to 2.5 times. And our MOF, the margin of finance, it can go as high as 60%. And one of the key features, it's hassle-free trading and settlement, meaning it's all done automatically. You have the convenience of engaging our custodian/nominees services. So all your corporate exercise will all be done by our nominees department. And your risk will be mitigated on counters with capping or restrictions. And there is full flexibility in terms of repayment. Okay. And the last product we have is what we call the Discretionary Financing, short for DF. So this type of account actually allows you to carry your trade from T2 all the way to T7. All right, and you can settle the contract at any point of time of up to T7. It is applicable to our retail and corporate clients. It is very flexible in terms of trading strategies and portfolio management. However, there will be DF fees and DF interest incurred. All right, so to get you started, the supporting documents that we need will be a copy of an NRIC and 1 month latest bank statement. So when you open an account with us at Affin Hwang, there will be a CDS account fee of 10 ringgit. I believe Bursa is running a campaign on the onboarding of new customers. So perhaps you can read more on the website. Okay, so we have actually 8 branches located across West and East Malaysia. So the numbers and the PIC's names are all there. So feel free to reach out to us. If there's any questions, we'll be very happy to answer. We are here to hold your hand. And with this, I shall end my presentation. Thank you for your time and attention. I appreciate it, and I bid you a lovely evening. Back to you, Claire.
Thank you so much, June. Well, we've come to the end of today's webinar session. A big thank you to Miss Ivy and Miss Ying, founders of the Financial Fitness YouTube channel, for joining us today and sharing valuable insights with our participants. Also, a big thanks to June for sharing Affin Hwang Investment Bank's product and service offerings. And thank you to all our participants here today. We appreciate you spending your dinner time being here with us for this webinar session. We hope that it was a fruitful session which gave you a better understanding of stock investment as a viable option to your investment portfolio. We also kindly ask if you could take a few minutes to provide us your feedback in the survey which will pop out on your screen when you leave this webinar. Thanks again for joining us, and hopefully we will see you next time. Thank you and stay safe. Good night.